In 1957, a Japanese car company shipped its first vehicle to America. It was called the Toyopet Crown, and it was, by almost every measure, a disaster. It topped out at around 60 miles an hour, and it nearly fell apart trying to get there. American highways chewed it up. American drivers laughed at it. One dealer reportedly described driving it on the freeway as a white-knuckle experience. Toyota pulled the car from the U.S. market within a few years. Total embarrassment. So here's the question nobody saw coming in 1957.
Toyota USA today.
How does that company, the one that got humiliated out of the American market, end up becoming the brand Americans trust more than almost anything else on four wheels? Not the flashiest, not the fastest, not the one with the loudest ad campaigns. Trusted. That word is doing a lot of work, and it's the whole story. Because trust isn't given. It's built, one decision at a time, usually during the moments when it would have been easier to cut corners. And Toyota's history is basically a 70-year masterclass in not cutting corners. Let's go back to the failure first, because the failure is the foundation. After the Crown bombed, Toyota didn't double down with bigger ads or flashier styling. They went the other direction. They went home and asked what actually went wrong. Not, how do we market this better? But, why did this car fail at the thing a car is supposed to do? That question, asked honestly, is rarer in business than people think. Most companies that ask it answer it with excuses. Toyota answered it with engineering. By the late 1960s, they came back with the Corona, then the Corolla. Smaller, cheaper, and unglamorous in every way that mattered to a teenager trying to impress someone. But here's what they weren't. Unreliable. They started. They ran. They kept running. And that, in the middle of the gas-guzzling, chrome-loving, planned obsolescence era of American car culture, was almost a radical idea. A car that didn't break. Then came the 1970s oil crisis, and suddenly, doesn't break and doesn't drink gas were the two most valuable phrases in the entire auto industry. Toyota didn't get lucky here. They'd already built the car the moment needed, years before the moment arrived. That's not an accident. That's the result of a company that builds for durability as a default setting, not as a reaction to a crisis. But reliability alone doesn't explain trust. Plenty of reliable products never earn real loyalty. What Toyota built next is the part most people don't know about, and it's arguably the most important chapter in the whole story. You might know it by its more famous nickname, lean manufacturing. The core idea sounds almost too simple to matter. Build quality into the process itself instead of inspecting for defects after the fact. Every single worker on the line in a Toyota plant has the actual authority to stop the entire production line if they spot a problem. It's called the andon cord. A line worker pulls it, the line stops, and the issue gets fixed right there, immediately, instead of getting shipped out the door and discovered by a customer 3 states away. Stop and sit with that for a second. Most companies treat the assembly line as sacred. Stopping it costs money, every single minute. Toyota built a system where stopping it on purpose, to protect quality, was the entire point. They were willing to lose short-term efficiency to protect long-term trust. That trade-off is the whole philosophy in one sentence. This is also where the famous Toyota concepts come from. Kaizen, continuous improvement, the idea that the system is never finished and should always be getting slightly better. Genchi genbutsu, go see for yourself. Don't trust the report. Walk the floor and look at the actual problem with your own eyes. These aren't slogans. They're operating instructions that got followed for decades by tens of thousands of employees across multiple continents. That kind of consistency, sustained that long, is genuinely rare. And the result showed up exactly where you'd expect it to. In the data. For decades, Toyota and its luxury division Lexus have dominated reliability rankings from Consumer Reports and J.D. Power, the kind of unglamorous, unsexy studies that don't go viral but absolutely shape what a parent recommends to their kid buying a first car. Word of mouth, generation after generation compounding. That's not a marketing budget. That's not a Super Bowl ad. That's just it worked, and people told other people it worked. Then there's the moment that probably did more for Toyota's reputation than any single year of sales numbers, the recall crisis of 2009 and 2010. Unintended acceleration. Sticking gas pedals. Reports linked to dozens of deaths. Toyota recalled over 8 million vehicles in the United States. The CEO, Akio Toyoda, flying in personally to testify in Washington, visibly shaken, apologizing directly to American families. It was, by any measure, the single worst stretch of public trust in the company's history, the kind of disaster that ends careers and tanks brands permanently. It didn't end Toyota. And the reason why says everything about how trust actually works. They didn't bury the story. They didn't lawyer their way out quietly and hope it faded. They restructured how decisions got made, gave regional offices more authority to act fast on safety issues instead of waiting on approval from Japan, and treated the crisis as a 5-alarm fire instead of a PR inconvenience to manage. Within a few years, Toyota's reliability scores were back near the top of the industry. The crisis became, almost unbelievably, just another chapter in the same story. The company that takes problems seriously, even when the problem is itself. That's the part that's easy to miss if you only look at the good years. Trust isn't proven when things go right. It's proven in exactly the moment things go wrong, by what happens next. Toyota had failed in 1957, and it built an empire by learning from it. It failed again in 2009, and it didn't run from the cameras. Add to that the unsexy, slow-burn moves that paid off over decades. The Camry, unremarkable to look at, has spent years as the best-selling car in America, not because anyone fell in love with it, but because it simply does its job without asking for attention or trouble. The Prius, launched in 1997, made Toyota synonymous with hybrid technology before most other manufacturers even had a hybrid on the drawing board. Years of head start that's still paying dividends today. And Toyota's truck lineup, the Tacoma and the Tundra, built a cult following for being borderline impossible to kill, the kind of vehicle people drive for 200,000 miles and then pass down to their kid. None of these are exciting stories on their own. That's the whole point. Trust is rarely built on excitement. It's built on the absence of bad surprises, repeated for so long that the absence itself becomes the reputation. So why did Toyota become America's most trusted car brand? Not because of one genius decision or one breakthrough car. It's because of a company that treated reliability as a religion instead of a marketing slogan, that built a production system designed to protect quality even when it cost money to do it, that owned its worst moments instead of hiding from them, and that did all of this consistently enough, for long enough, that trust stopped being a brand value and started being a fact people could just take for granted. In an industry built on hype, horsepower, and reinvention, every model year, Toyota's real innovation might be the most boring one of all. Just keep showing up and don't let people down. That's not a flashy story, but it's the only kind of story that actually earns trust. And 70 years later, it's still working. Well,